Hi, and welcome back to A Nerd, a Teacher, and a Hockey Player, a relevant yet irreverent look at business, technology, and life in Wichita, Kansas, or wherever you may be listening from. I'm Paul, I'm the nerd.
I'm Kimber, and I'm the teacher.
And I'm Jeff, I'm the hockey player.
And holy crap, Audra's back.
Yay! I'm the guest.
Audra, tell us about yourself.
I am the founder of a business called The Thread, and what we do is we support professional and entrepreneurial women as they aim to achieve their dreams and build a community alongside of them.
And you're in charge of the conversation today. What are we talking about?
So last time I was here, I said the phrase seasons of life. Depends on what season you're in, and that sort of piqued some interest. So we're going to talk all about seasons of life today.
Sweet.
Yay.
Cool.
I'm sporting the winter white. I'm approaching winter.
Very seasonal.
I'm balding because it's coming in.
Yeah, it's fall, y'all.
Fall, y'all.
Oh, God.
It is fall, y'all.
It is hockey season. Woo!
And Kimber and I
Yes.
were just talking about seasons as we were walking up because we are both, Kimber has entered and I am getting ready to enter a different decade,
Oh,
which
my gosh.
kind of feels like a different season. Will you tell us about your shirt and why it's connected to your season?
Yeah, so you can't see it because this wonderful microphone's right here. Let's see if Jeff will let me move. My shirt says Grateful Heart. I'm just going to get real. I'm just going to say it. Here we go. 5 seconds of bravery. When I was 20, I didn't think I'd still be here when I was 40. And now I am 40 and I am
Not
still here.
yet.
By the time this comes out, I'll be
Okay.
40.
Oh, that's right.
I'll be 40 on Sunday. It's going to be crazy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And that's wild. So I just choose to be grateful for every moment because from here on out, none of this.
You're playing with house money.
I am this is all bonus. This is all bonus. And you have to
Yeah.
be grateful for those things. So I have a grateful heart.
I love that. A grateful season.
Yes.
Paul, what would you say you are in as a business owner in this? What is your business? What season is your business in?
Probably same as my beard. Probably late fall, early winter.
Okay. Say more. Why?
Good freaking question. Because a lot of the growing is done, but some of the beauty's still there. I mean, if you think about fall, it's beautiful trees and colors and crisp air and, bobbing for apples and all that fun crap stuff. All that fun stuff. I guess you shouldn't call it crap if it's good. All that fun stuff as you prepare for the next transition into the next seasons. So as a business owner, one of the things I'm looking at doing is, cutting back the time I spend in the business, but preparing the business for, life without my involvement 24/7, 365. It's kind of why these losers are here.
He called me a loser, and that really hurts my grateful heart.
Shit, I just wear it, man.
So it's kind of why
call me a
they're
quarter.
here, is to take over some of that responsibility and prepare for the next season of, planting and sowing and growing and all that.
Thank you for the swear jar edition.
Yes.
And I see you got by on crap.
I did
You
get by on
slid.
crap.
You
I
slid.
did.
Yeah, we saw that.
I'm on my best behavior because you're here.
Jeff, what about you?
What?
What season of life are you in?
I'd say of life, I'm probably fall. Same as. First of all, fall is my favorite season, so I don't mind living in fall because it's hockey season.
I was like, you're going to try and get me to say it's fall, y'all. And I was like, no.
No, that's Paul's. No, but I would say that age, career-wise, I'm in fall. I'm not quite to the end of the year, but I can see it, right? So, that's kind of, I think, the season I'm in, fall.
I think it's just fun to think about life or business like this, and it doesn't have to be correlated to age per se, right? Of we're in spring if we're, I don't know.
In our 20s.
Yes, in our 20s, but you can. I think of my business hit 5 years since the time.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yes,
I've
congrats.
been here.
Look,
And
look up the metrics sometime as to how many businesses fail before they get to that.
Yep.
It will scare the crap out of you.
I think it was I did look it up and wrote it in a newsletter to our alum. I think it was like 50% fail before 5 years, but then 7 years is the next mark. And I know when I was first starting my business, I had just moved home to Wichita. I had 2 very young kids, and the first 3 years really, but especially the first 2, it was like all in, so crazy, just trying to get traction. I feel like I started to get some traction in that year 3. And so then that momentum was just carrying me. And then stuff kind of hit the fan with my family, and I needed to like refocus back on home life and my kids and school and just kind of shift my attention. And so I entered a different season. And then coming out of that, when it felt like, okay, everything is good, I can refocus back in a different way on the business, but now I'm a sort of a different person at a different place, a different season, if you will. Not the season of just first hustling and getting it off the ground, but not also this season where I was really relying on my team and prioritizing my family first and foremost. I'm in like a in-between season.
I talk to our team of technical consultants a lot about the season or the maturity of our client's business. I really try to drive them to understand the maturity level of a business, to know kind of how we can help them out from a technology perspective. For example, if they're just still trying to figure out how to build the widget, they may not be ready for next level stuff. But if they figured out how to build the widget, now they're just looking to make it more efficient and effective. It's good to know where they're at in the maturity of their business so that you can provide, consulting and IT solutions that match where they're at in the maturity of their business.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like in my business, we've hit a portion of our business that is solid, and we have figured out how to make the widget, and now it's dialing it in and
refining.
Yes, and that's an exciting part. But then it's like, okay, well, that's this section. Where are we on the other section? Some have crashed and burned. Some, we're still experimenting with. But I find that we have to focus. We can't do too much in this season.
Well, what I find fascinating about, when you introduced the concept of seasons of life on our last time we were together, I never really thought of life or business in that context until you said that. And I'm like, well, wait a second, that does make sense. I mean, in your 20s, that's kind of spring. You're growing, you're trying to figure things out. What can I plant here? What can I not plant here? How much water does this thing need? In summer, things are kind of growing. In fall, you're getting the benefit of that in harvest, or the colors of the leaves and those kind of things. And I never really thought of how even your priorities change from season to season, whether it's in your business or your personal life. And much like in the real seasons in the year, there are times you run into false fall or fake spring.
Oh, I love
and
that.
those kind of things. So as your business grows, that really is spring. It's like, I'm here. I got to pay attention to it. I got to feed it. I got to keep the grasshoppers away. I got to keep the birds away. Okay, now things are growing. Well, wait a second. My soil doesn't support this thing I'm trying to grow. That's the failure you talked about, or the stumble, where you're like, well, wait a second. I don't have the right thing in the right soil. Equate that to maybe the wrong person in the wrong job, the wrong strategy, something like that. So it was really eye-opening to me that you introduced that concept. And as I've kind of thought about it over the past couple of months, I thought, well, crap, this really does apply to business and life and relationships and all that.
Yeah, I just always think of, what season am I in? And yeah, so it is a lens I look through a lot. And I think maybe we could all share, when I was in I think back to my 20s, and if I could give any advice to my 20-something self, it would be to try all the things. Like, there is nothing wrong. Try all the things, do all the things. You don't have the responsibilities at home. You don't know what career path you're really going to take yet. So experiment away. In my 30s, I've started to realize how important it is to focus and refine. So I'd be curious, over the decades, whether it's 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, what advice would you give to your younger self in that season?
Why is everybody looking at me?
You have the most advice to give.
Oh, because I'm like late fall.
You're the
early
most
winter,
seasoned.
Early winter.
Season, there it is.
First and foremost, it would be, yep, you're right, marry the girl. First and foremost. Second of all, it would be there's no reward without risk. So start the business earlier. Don't be a chicken shit.
Worth it.
You
Worth
know,
the quarter.
Worth the quarter. And as I've approached late fall, early winter, the priorities have changed. It's like, it's more about family. It's more about the time I have to spend reading. I'm reading a great book called The 5 Types of Wealth. Have you read it?
I've heard about that. I haven't read it yet.
Okay. I got your copy, actually. I didn't bring it with me, but Kimber will deliver it to
Well,
you.
thank you.
I love delivering things.
Great book. But it starts out with the author saying, he lived in California and his parents lived in New York, and they got together once a year. And his parents had turned 65, and somebody said, you realized you're going to see your parents, everything being average, you're going to see your parents 15 more times. That's it. And he was like, wait a second, 15 more times. I'm going to move back east.
Yeah.
Because 15 more times with mom and dad's not acceptable. Right. So for me, it's been kind of that kind of realization that as I get into fall and winter, it's like I can only do this 20 more times, 40 more times, whatever that number is. So there's this all of a sudden this realization that, winter is coming. Game of Thrones reference.
Right. I just was going to say.
Everybody got it. Jeff got it right.
I got it.
Yeah. Winter is coming.
First words in that whole series. Winter's
Winter is coming.
So there's a limited amount of time or a limited amount of opportunities to do whatever this thing is.
Yeah. When we moved home from Hawaii, everyone said, oh my gosh, how did you move back to the Midwest from Hawaii? And before that, we lived in Colorado, mountains and ocean, and just 2 amazing places. And that was part of it. We were like, okay, our family is coming to visit one time a year. We are going back to visit them one time a year. So our kids are going to grow up seeing their cousins once because, my sister and her family weren't able to travel out to us every year, and they're going to see their grandparents twice. And so it was that, just thinking about the way I grew up and how close I was to my family and how many times a year I saw them, thinking, no, I that wouldn't be enough. That's not what I want for my little fam.
Yeah, and it's fascinating as you think about, the seasons of your life and how much more time you have left or your parents have left or, how many more times your kids are going to really want to care to hang out with you. That, it kind of puts one of the stages of wealth he talks about is time wealth, that you have to manage your time and realize it's not, an infinite resource. In fact, it's the only resource we have that we can't make more of. Yeah. You can make more money. If I run out of quarters here, I can go to the ATM and get more quarters. I can't make more time.
Nope, you can't.
I took the summer to spend with my kids because they were 8 and 6. And so I worked, but I worked about 30%. And I realized my 8-year-old turned 9 at the end of the summer. And I was like, oh, wow, that's the cusp. He would rather be in camp hanging with his friends, So I really connect to that. What advice would you give, Kimber?
Oh, man. Just really do it scared. Just do it scared. Everything's terrifying. You're going to have to figure it out. Just do it scared. And honestly, say no. Spend a lot of time in jobs where you couldn't say no. There was no saying no. There was no taking time off. You had to do it. You had to get it done. And then it's like, I missed a lot. I missed a lot of things. Now my kids think I'm pretty cool. And it's because I work in technology, so I can say words, not stumble over them. There's no authority behind it. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can say something and be like, actually, that's a good point, Mom. Like, what did I just say? I don't know. But they think that that's pretty rad. And if you don't feel welcome in a space now, you never will. If you are not open arms, welcomed into a space, day one, you will never be. Don't waste your time on that. Don't waste your energy on it. Do what needs to be done and get out.
I think those are good pieces of advice for any season. I'm happy to hear that the kids come back around and think you're cool if you can, throw some tech lingo.
Well, or even just they talk about video games. All these people that I work with talk about these cool video games or this nifty way to build some kind of app or something. And I'm like, hey, I heard this today. And my kids are both like, tell me more. I can't.
So cool.
I can't tell you more, son. Sorry.
But, you know, I think one of the lies that maybe we tell ourselves is if we do say no, people won't like me or I won't get an opportunity or XYZ, when in fact, a polite and intentional no, I think makes people respect you more. The other day we were emailing back and forth and I asked, hey, are you going to be at this event? And you're like, no, that evening is for my kids. And I was like, good for you.
Yes,
Good answer.
I saw the email. I didn't email you for almost 3 hours back. It's like, I'm going to hurt her feelings. I love that she's created this space and I feel awful for not going and welcoming the next set in here, but evenings are for my kids. That's just the line I draw.
And I love that. And it's like, I only thought highly of you when I got the email back. So I just love that.
Thank you. I was
Prior to
terrified.
the email, she was like,
Shit.
Great. Kimber's going to be here.
Yeah. She's like, I really
No.
hope she says no.
No, you guys.
just asking her to be polite.
No.
No.
Okay, give us your advice, Jeff.
Oh, boy.
And what season would it apply to?
My younger 20s. When opportunity knocks, answer the door. You don't have to invite opportunity in, but you got to answer the door. And I didn't answer the door for a good part of my younger part of my career, early career. And I think looking back, that's the advice. I really, though, can relate to what you guys were talking about family, and in terms of the season I'm in right now is kind of like what you were talking about, Paul. It's that understanding how important family is, having lost some family members in the last few years, and not a big family to begin with. So when you start losing numbers, it's like, and it really hits. And tomorrow's not guaranteed. So if you're going to do it,
So carpe diem.
do it. Exactly. It's just I spent too much time overthinking and not moving. And I think now, as I've matured, I think now I'm a little bit more willing to take a step or, move on something rather than just paralysis from analysis.
Yeah.
So
I think if someone's listening and they're like, I haven't married the girl or I haven't started the business, or they're kind of like thinking it's too late. One encouraging thing I talk about with my husband is, our maybe career halfway point, if you work that traditional like 22 to 65, right? If that's your halfway point in your career is like 43. That's only halfway. Like you have half to
used to being on the downhill.
But it's like you still have time.
Right.
I went to my kid's school today and took this picture because I just thought, oh, she had it. One of the 5th grade teachers had it on the door. It's never too late to get where you are going. So I think it's so great to like think back to our younger selves, our 20s selves, 30s selves, and give advice, but also to just like take that advice no matter what decade we're in. It's not too late.
It's not.
My grandmother's 77 and is like dedicating herself to master gardening classes this season. And I'm like, good for you.
The rose section is going to be the problem for me. I can get the rest of it, but that rose section, they mean business in there.
I've heard.
It's insane.
I'm an amateur.
No, I'm excited to see what she does. You have to send pictures.
I'll send pictures.
Audra, how do you want to wrap things up?
Let's do a rapid fire of one of the most favorite seasons of your life that you can think of.
Fall, y'all.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
more than that. Like I said rapid fire, but it was like, thinking back to your garage when you were first started. Like what do you look back on fondly? Besides fall, y'all. And we'll get you a pumpkin spice. We'll get you a pumpkin spice next time.
Not a pumpkin spice fan. I just do it because it annoys Kimber. And it comes back to, the joy of looking at the color of the trees and how things have grown and stuff. I really think the season that I look back most fondly on is the season I'm just closing out right now, when the struggles of growing the business, the struggles of young kids, the struggles of building a family are past, and everything's grown, and you can look at it and go, the colors on that tree really are good. And you can kind of step back and say, I did this. I had help, had a buttload of help, but I did this. This is all grown, and I'm happy with the trees.
I look forward to getting there.
I had a false spring. I thought everything was going to be great, and I was thrilled for where I was going. And then I got an Arctic blast, and I was like, what the heck? But it really did set me on this whole other path that now I just get to be grateful every single day because I went through that. And man, jumping careers, jumping companies, jumping, completely restructuring your family, doing all those things is hard. That is hard work. I wouldn't have done it any other way. You almost need that, slap in the face to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
So the season I'm in right now has probably been my favorite season. Right now. I'm living it. I'm living my best season, I think. Reached a point to where, grandkids are great because you spoil the shit out of them and send them home. It's amazing. Kids are raised. Everybody's doing well. So, you've got that comfort. The job that I do, the company I work for, it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm not stressed out and coming home all stressed all the time and wearing my stress on my face and my sleeve. And, I actually told Paul this the other day. I went and had lunch with a buddy. He's like, "The fuck are you so happy about?"
I'm not giving you $1. You got to give me the $1.
Sorry about the F-bomb.
It's okay. It's okay.
You so happy about it? I'm like, I don't know. Do I seem happy? He's like, yeah, like what? And I'm like, so I was driving back to the office. I'm like, I'm pretty much living my best season, and I'm loving it. By the way, hockey season starts, and my first game Sunday.
Obviously.
So everything is just coming together.
I remember when I took my first big-ish career risk and moved out of Wichita as a young professional and moved to Fort Collins, Colorado, ended up starting a business, failing at that, and then landing in an advertising agency. And it is just a grind. And I got paid horribly. And then I proved myself and got paid a little better. And I remember driving my little Prius around the corner and just thinking, and I was listening to Imagine Dragons, and I was on my way to a client meeting, and I was just thinking, man, I'm really happy. So anytime I've had those moments in the past 15 years, I just think that they are sometimes related to risks that I have taken.
Okay. Thanks for your time today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.